Hey, this is Evan with Simple Sales Central Florida. We're back here this month for our monthly Q&A, our January Q&A. Just to quickly introduce myself, I'm Evan Shelley. Um, I run Simple Sale. We buy distressed properties throughout Central Florida. That's Tampa, um, St. Pete, so Pinellas, Hillsborough counties. We even look down in Manatee, Bradenton area. Um, and from there, we look at Orlando, Orange County, even Osceola, Seminole counties. And then from there on the East Coast, Brevard County, including the cities of Melbourne, Titusville, Cocoa, even all the way up to Palm Beach. So, um, like I said, we buy and sell distressed properties throughout Central Florida. We also do list properties if the situation fits. If your property isn't extremely distressed, there are instances where listing your property makes more sense. So just wanted to put that out there. We do have a brokerage called Simple Sale Realty, where we can list your property, and in some situations, that does make more sense for the client. The mission of the company is to bring transparency and accountability to distressed home sales. And what that means is we're in a predatory industry where people will try to manipulate their client to get the most money possible. And what we do, yes, we try to make money. We a business by definition cannot function without making money, but with everything we do, we keep the client in mind. So when we make a commission on a deal or we buy and sell a property and make a profit, we feel as if we've done everything we can for the client and it's under our risk tolerance, to where we felt that we bought the property at a price that we could make money and the client got um, an offer that was fair. So, um, with that being said, we'll go on into the questions. What's different about selling a distressed house versus a regular one? So, if you have a distressed property, you're probably aware of it. To define distress, that means a property with excessive repairs, legal issues, in pre foreclosure, where you're late on mortgage payments. You can be late on HOA payments for that matter. We recently bought a property that was a couple years late on HOA payments. That was a problem. Um, and then, so that would define distress. And what a regular one is one that needs very little work, typically cosmetic work. I actually just left the house earlier today. And that is going to be a listing because it needed very little work. There are some issues that are being worked through with a contractor, but it's not to the point of this person needs to sell the property at uh, a lower price to someone that's going to give them a cash offer. It makes more sense to take the time to list it. They're not in a rush, and they're going through a probate. So we are helping them handle the probate with an attorney, and we are going to take care of the few repair issues and list the property for them. And they're going to net a lot more, because, as I was speaking about the goal of the company, bringing transparency and accountability, we felt as if listing the property made a lot more sense in this situation. The client will net tens of thousands of dollars more. Um, so the difference between distressed and regular property is the amount of repairs or legal issues or something that you can't overcome. You need to sell the house very, very quickly. You don't have time to list it and vet offers and let people walk the property. And then a regular one, you can list the property, you can take time, you can let people view it. It's not an issue. and there isn't anything extreme or extraordinary that's wrong with the house. Next question: what does it mean to sell property as is? Do I need a realtor? So to sell a property as is means it can mean something as extreme as you um, leave the property, you're moving. We had a lady move to Tennessee, and she just left the property literally as it was. She took the things she wanted, she left the rest of it. So that's the extreme version of selling property as is. You just kind of leave furniture, everything, and you take what you want and you leave the rest. And we take it with the repairs needed, um, and we'll buy it as is. You can sell the property with a realtor as is. Um, the difference in the problem becomes with selling a property as is with an agent or a realtor is the timeline. If you're wanting to sell the property in 30 days or less, probably not best suited for going the direction of listing that property that you're selling as is. You may get some offers that will close that quickly, but sometimes it can take to get the best and highest offer. We have a property that we sold as is with our brokerage, and I think we ended up taking maybe 60 days to really vet out offers, because in this industry you get a lot of offers that aren't quite real. It's just the state of the industry that we're in right now. But you'll get offers that aren't real, and they'll go under contract and they won't close, and then you're back under contract with someone else and they won't close. And then if you want to vet all that out, you might as well go ahead and tell yourself you're not going to close that property for 60 days, and that's just part of the process. So if you don't have that kind of time, you would not go the realtor route. But if you do, then you should definitely go that realtor route in most as is situations. What do cash offers for homes entail? So it really depends on the company you're working with. I know with our company, a firm cash offer typically entails us have thoroughly vetted the property. We feel confident in the property. We have taken an inspection period anywhere from 3 to 14 days, depending on the property. And in some cases, we do 0-day inspection periods. And we move through the inspection period and we are ready to close. And with some other companies, they'll make you cash offers without ever seeing the house, knowing very little. They'll just look it up online and throw you a number. So it really depends on the company. Going back to the mission of transparency and accountability, bringing transparency and accountability to distressed home sales, we try to make the process as clear as possible. So that cash offer that firm cash offer that we make, we will tell you when we're in this to close on X date. And so some other companies aren't quite that confident in their offers, so you have to just vet out those companies. Typically, you can do that by reviewing the companies online, looking at the reviews and things of that nature. When is the best time to sell a distressed house? In almost all cases that I've seen, it's better to sell the house when you're needing to sell it. I've seen cases where people refuse to want to sell for whatever reason. They say, well, the offer isn't high enough. We want your offer plus $30,000 or whatever the case may be. They have unrealistic expectations and things of that nature. And what I've seen is people become very emotional about it, and then 3 months later they're in a worse spot for whatever reason. Maybe there's excessive repairs to the property, there's a leaky roof, and they don't want to sell it for less than X price. They can't get that price, and the condition of the property is greatly worsened over that period of time. Then they come back 3 months later and things are worse. um, and so if your property is truly distressed, there's some real issues. The honest answer is probably today. The day in which you think I need to sell this property is probably the best time. It's not going to get better unless you have the money for the repairs, and I would highly recommend you make the repairs and then sell the house. That in that situation, that would be your best alternative. If you have the money for the repairs and you understand construction and contracting and hiring contractors and vetting them scopes of work, then you should fix the property, make it a house that's no longer distressed, and then sell it. The next question: I inherited a home. What are some pros and cons to renting versus selling it? Um, so inheriting, if you inherit a property, um, let's assume that there's nothing owed on it. Renting the property isn't a bad idea. If you know how to handle and vet tenants, or you have a very good property management company, that is not a bad idea at all. To rent out the property. The cons are, if you try to self manage, you're going to have a lot of stress in your life for that rent payment every month, just for general maintenance of the property, um, making sure your tenants pay rent, making sure um, that there's nothing going on at the property that you wouldn't approve of, things of that nature. It just can be a constant stress. Versus selling it, the pros of selling it is you'll get your money out of the house quickly. The con is you don't have that passive income that comes from renting it. So I would not ever say renting it is a bad option. Just be prepared and understand the responsibility that comes with renting a property, because it can be time consuming and headaches. But there's ways to mitigate those if you educate yourself. So it really depends on your situation. If you don't need the money, I would recommend renting it. Find a great property manager. We can refer you to people if you're in the Central Florida area, and I would go that route. Next question: do you have any tips for selling a home when you're going through a divorce? So we've handled a few of these, and the biggest thing, the most important thing in my mind, is making sure that you're on the same page with the person that you're getting divorced from. Because I've been in situations where I talked with one of the spouses, and they're on totally different page than the other. We're talking about, price and moving forward, and the other person is saying, I don't want to sell, or I don't want that price for it. I want some other price, and it is a lot of the times it just doesn't work out, and those people, end up just fire selling it to some random person down the road, for whatever someone will give the first person they talk to, which is not ideal. But so I would say it's really getting on the same page with that other person. Even though you're going through a difficult relationship, you need to just take the time to be on the same page and understand, okay, we're going to sell this thing. We want this for it. We agree. Let's sell it. Otherwise, you're just going to spin your wheels and talk to people and try to get it sold, and nothing's ever going to happen. So yeah, I would just have a clear plan, and obviously, a good attorney. Can I sell my house in foreclosure? Yeah. So if you have a property that's in pre-foreclosure, we we purchase properties in pre-foreclosure all the time. Um, I wouldn't say that's a majority of what properties we buy, but um, there um, there are definitely instances where there is a foreclosure situation going on, and you can definitely sell your property in that foreclosure situation and get out of foreclosure. Um, there are variables there of depending on how much you owe on the mortgage. Um, is there any equity in there in the house? If not, then there are various ways you might be able to get it sold and make some money. And we could discuss that with you, or some other company that you are talking with can hopefully discuss that with you and understand the various ways in which you can sell that house in foreclosure, even if you don't have any equity. Or what that means is maybe you owe more on the mortgage than what it's actually worth. There are ways to get around that, and possibly put money in your pocket. So we can definitely talk with you about that. Next question. My house is in very poor condition, but I can't fix it and I need to sell it. Can you help? Well, yeah, so that's what we do. We do buy, I would say a majority of properties that we buy are in very poor condition for various reasons. Um, and that's exactly what we do. So we buy those properties as is, no repairs, no, you don't have to clean the property up or whatever. We'll just buy it as is with all the um, all the repairs on it. That's exactly what we do. How can I sell a property in probate? So we deal with a lot of probate deals, and essentially the first step is getting an attorney that you trust. We have attorneys that we use for all our probate deals, um, and we are very comfortable working through probate deals through the various complications that can come with a probate deal. So, you know, if you have a trusted attorney, I would say reach out to them. If you don't, reach out to us. We can recommend one to you, um, and we can help you through that process. Um, so, some of the big things is how many heirs are there? Are all the heirs wanting to sell the property? Um, you know, um, are all the heirs wanting to sell it for around the same amount? And things of that nature. You really want to get on the same page with the heirs. If it's only you as the heir, then you just need to get an attorney that you trust and then find a buyer for the property. That can be us, that could be another company that you trust. Um, and, um, you know, selling selling a property in probate does have its complications, but if you work with someone who actually works in probates and works with attorneys regularly on probate deals, then it it can be pretty simple on your end. Um, can you sell a house with a lien on it? So you definitely can sell a house with a lien on it. There are um, we've bought many properties that do have liens. We typically pay those liens off prior to closing, or at closing. Those will get paid off. Um, but also, we have bought properties and closed without paying the liens. We Mid 2020 bought a property that had $364,000 in liens on it. The house was worth much, much less than that. And we renegotiated those liens over the course of 6 months, down to just a few $1,000s. So we can really handle any type of situation, and we're prepared to take the risk of negotiating those. So if you do have a lien or substantial liens, feel free to reach out to us because we can handle those, and we will take those risks with the property. So with that being said, I think that that was the last question that I'm going to answer today in our January Q&A, and I do not see any questions in the comment box. So I'm just going to go ahead and close it out. Thanks for watching this Q&A. You can reach us at 321-732-6477. And if you want to refer your distressed property, you can go to simplesalescentralflorida.com, and we will leave your info. We will reach out to you and talk with you about your property and see if we're a good fit. Not all properties are a good fit, just depending upon the situation. We like to work with people who want to work with us, and we want to continue to, expand our mission of bringing transparency and accountability to distressed home sales and taking care of our clients with every decision we make. So with that being said, thank you all very much and have a great weekend.